Archaeologists put in relentless efforts to discover new historical significant sites and artifacts every single day. The discovery of such sites is always a remarkable achievement, but the next job for archaeologists commences here onwards as they have to explain its purpose, importance and history. It's not an easy job for them, as well as other experts working with them in related fields. At times they get stuck in pursuing an answer to certain questions, and they may not be successful for quite a long time. Resultantly, certain archaeological sites and artifacts remain unexplained. This means there are several recent discoveries which are still without any logical explanation. In today's video, we'll tell you all about ancient archaeological discoveries that scientists still have a hard time explaining. So make sure you watch till the end and give this video a thumbs up. Mysterious Roman Sundial. In January 2017, a mystery that had remained unresolved for over 200 years might have been solved. However, experts are still not confident. The mystery is centered on an ancient Roman object. It was discovered during the 1760s in the ruins of the Villa di Popoli, which was destroyed in 79 AD by the volcanic eruption of Mount Vesuvius. The object closely resembles a pork chop. The experts printed a 3D copy of the object for closer inspection. At this stage, the experts felt that they were finally able to ascertain the real purpose of the object. They believe that it might have been a pocket sundial, and it might have been hung from a string, permitting its longer end to cast a shadow across the grid carved on its face. The vertical lines represent the current month, whereas the horizontal lines represent the time of day. The owners, by using this crude system, could know roughly how many hours of sunlight they had left. Well, despite this explanation, there remains a question. If the Romans had pocket sundials, then why were experts not able to find another similar sundial? Jättegrytor Caverns. The residents of mainland Sweden will warn you if you plan to visit the island of Bla-Jungfrun. They'll frighten you by informing you that the island is cursed and it used to be home to witches. And there's probably some truth to their speculations. A team of bold archaeologists ignored the warning and went on to investigate the caves on the island. They discovered evidence of certain strange rituals that dated back to approximately 9,000 years. They also found an ancient labyrinth constructed for some unknown purposes. The caves are also quite interesting, as there is a stone altar built inside one of them. In another cave, there seems to be a theatre stage. Both of these are mysterious features of the Mesolithic Stone Age. In the cave with the theatre stage, hammerstones have been found. Stones like these were used to grind up material, which may imply that ritualistic offerings were made during the grinding process. Despite the detailed explanation, the experts are not very convinced by the Swedish legend, which considers that a race of giants created the mammoth Jättegrytor caverns on the island's shoreline. People have a strong belief in the superstition that none of the stones that make up the huge labyrinth have ever been stolen by anyone. People believe that moving any of these stones would release a curse, and no one ever dared to take the risk. Mysterious Vault B. There's a lot of speculation regarding the contents of Vault B of the Padmanabh Swami Temple in the Indian state of Kerala. People believe that there are solid gold ropes hidden in the temple. There's also a great collection of Napoleonic coin belts made from diamonds, huge emeralds and barrels filled with gold. However, there is one sign that the doors of the vault cannot be opened by an incantation, as nobody knows the chant meant to open it. The temple is dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, and its origins are shrouded in mystery. References about the temple have been found in the Tamil language and date back to the 6th century. However, the temple is reportedly much older. The temple has 6 vaults which contain treasures, and only Vault B is the one that has never been opened, and it's believed to be the richest among all. Giant cobras are carved on the doors and believed to represent an ancient curse. In 1936, an expedition failed to accomplish the task of opening its doors as they were suddenly assaulted by numerous cobras who emerged from below and behind the doors. Despite the accessible passage, so far no one seems to have been brave enough to open the doors of this mysterious vault. Sewed coinage found on the wreck of the Roosfake. In June 2020, Wolfson Foundation and the Archaeological Analysis Centre for Fort Cumberland in Portsmouth, England, reached a deal that funds will be provided for scanning the mysterious trove of objects found off the coast of England. An amount of £168,000 was to be paid for brand new high-resolution X-ray machines having the ability to penetrate the thick rust deposits that masked the objects. These objects are reportedly from the wreck of the Roosfake, which sank near the coastline of Kent in 1740. It carried thimbles and silver coins, and in 2018 the cargo was rediscovered and it was thickly covered with rust. Experts identified the presence of holes drilled into the coins, which confirms the theory that the passengers of the ship sewed coinage into their clothing to smuggle it into Batavia in the East Indies, where the import of foreign coins was prohibited to protect the local economy. Home of ancient Roman military commander. It's difficult to believe, but the lifestyle of a military commander serving in 2nd century Rome was extravagant, to say the least. Let's take a look at the former home of a Roman officer. This huge villa was found by accident in 2018 when work on the construction of Rome's Metro Sea Line commenced. It is one of the most spacious military homes ever discovered in the city. It encompasses 14 rooms, all having marble floors and mosaic designs, along with a central courtyard having a fountain. It seems to have been buried intentionally, which has helped in the preservation of the house. One of its rooms appears to have artificial heating arrangements. Despite the discovery of this marvelous ancient house, the Metro line is scheduled to be completed in 2022. It implies that the archaeologists have to ascertain and grab whatever they can from the house before the resumption of construction work. It's expected that some of its floors will be retained as part of the new metro station. The Crocodile Stone. It's the place where once human sacrifices were made. It's a strangely shaped stone where rainwater used to be collected. It's located amid the ruins of the ancient temple of Wapu and was given the name due to its vague resemblance to a crocodile. The temple dates back to approximately the 12th century. However, the stone seems to be older and may belong to the 5th century, which is around the time of the Chenla Empire, and its leaders are believed to have practiced human sacrifice. It's not known for sure whether they used this stone for human sacrifice or not. It's known that no other stone similar to the Crocodile Stone exists in Laos or Cambodia, therefore it must have been designed for a specific purpose. Cuyo, the oldest site of Mayan civilization. Any Mayan ruins found across Central America can be termed mysterious, but the Cuyo ruins have a special place. These are located in the Orange Walk region of Belize. In 1975, Norman Hammond discovered the site and worked for the next 5 years to excavate it. He used radiocarbon dating techniques which suggested that the site was constructed about 4,500 years ago, which makes it probably the oldest known Mayan site on the continent. Historians and experts challenged his research. They believe that it could not be the grandest Mayan site. Instead of having grand palaces and temples, the site is the one where maize farmers lived in their thatched homes. They hunted white-tailed deer and lived with their pet dogs. Here, the burial traditions also widely differ from other Mayan sites. Archaeologists were especially excited to discover a buried teenage girl who seemed to have been decapitated and buried with her head placed on her chest. Cuyo site has made Mayan civilization experts uneasy to say the least. Giant camel carving in Saudi Arabia. Although the camel is the most seen animal in Saudi Arabia's desert, witnessing carvings of camels in the desert may be strange. In the Al-Jaf province of Saudi Arabia, we can easily see carvings on these cliffs, but these remained unnoticed until 2016. People think that shifting dunes might have kept these hidden for several years and also safeguarded them against the worst effects of erosion. If exposed, these carvings in the dunes might have been eliminated completely. It's believed that the carvings date back to around 2,000 years ago. In addition to camels, carvings of horses and donkeys are also easily recognizable. All these have been drawn with extreme accuracy. Strangely, there's no evidence available which could testify to the existence of a human settlement in the area. Old Dongala Town, Sudan. Old Dongala is a ghost town located in the northern state of Sudan. It's situated on the eastern bank of the River Nile. An archaeological mission started working on the site in 1964. The city had been the capital of the Nubian kingdom of Makuria between the 4th and 14th centuries. The modern city, founded by the residents of the old city which replaced it, is located about 50 miles away. In the 14th century, the residents vacated the old city under mysterious circumstances. The ruins of the old city bear no signs of conflict or ever being flooded by the River Nile. Therefore, it remains a mystery why the exodus took place before the 14th century. According to the narrations in the Book of Knowledge, the native people had left the town by 1348 and it had been resettled by the Genoese merchants, but they also left the area without leaving any traces of events hinting at the reason for their departure. The colossal geoglyph of a killer whale in Peru. It really is strange how a colossal geoglyph of a killer whale remained hidden from human eyes in Peru until discovered in late 2017. It has been visible in the desert approximately for 2,000 years. The type of geoglyph is open to discussion and interpretation, however most people believe it to be an orca, also known as the killer whale. It's located in a far-flung region in the Pulpa area of southern Peru. In ancient Peru, orca was considered to be a strong and mythical creature. The geoglyph is about 250 feet long and probably was carved as an appeasement to a deity. During the 1970s, a passing plane took photographs of the orca, and an accurate record of its location was not kept by the photographer. It was discovered about 50 years later. It has been restored and is easy to identify, but still its original meanings remain unexplained. World's first personal computer. This small device apparently dates back approximately 300 years and belonged to the Qing dynasty in China. It is an abacus which can be worn as a ring. It's hardly half an inch high, however it functions similar to the traditional abacus. You ought to bring a tiny needle for operating it properly. The pieces of this tiny device can't be manipulated by human fingers. The traders who use these devices are called zhuxuans, and they were commonly employed for working out the price of a trade deal or a sale very swiftly in the presence of their customers. Although we can agree that these were sophisticated devices, no one can clarify how they were manufactured, as it would require a microscope for working on them. Strange adjoining temples in Bangladesh. About half of Bangladesh's Govinda Beta temple is a worship place belonging to the 6th century that was used by ancient Hindus. Well, identifying the other half is quite difficult. One fails to resolve the riddle of how these two halves were woven together. Both sides of the temple belong to different times which are separated by several centuries. A 6th century Hindu temple is located adjacent to an 11th century temple, which signifies that it was intended to be an extension of the original. However, there are inconsistencies related to the designs of the walls and foundations of the temples. It implies that these might have been constructed on top of already existing buildings or temples. The most astonishing is the discovery of a Buddhist stupa terracotta head buried at the site. It might have been buried for about 200 years after its making. People are thought to be coming up to the site for worship since at least the 4th century. We have no definite way to know its history. Mysterious stone spheres of Champ Island. The Champ Island is a popular place among tourists who sail on a cruise to the Arctic. The island has strange stone spheres, and the reason for these is still not clear. That's even not expected to be solved in the near future. Champ Island is in the center of an area situated hundreds of miles north of Russia's mainland coast, but they bagged it first, so they own it, just like America owns the moon. No one knows with absolute certainty how these stone spheres got here, since the island is of course uninhabited. There are no humans and no human records to explain what caused the stones to look like they do. Here's seamlessly round boulders scattered around the island, apparently growing out of the ground. Melting glaciers exposed the surface of the island, washing away the rounded forms. Scientists agree that the stones must have appeared naturally, but it's not clear how exactly. It seems that every geologist that visited the island has their own explanation for this unusual phenomenon. Some believe that these balls appeared as boulders that got washed by coastal waters, which might explain the origin of small rounded spheres, but not huge balls found on Champ Island. These unique formations have made the island a popular destination for tourists visiting the Arctic. Do share your views about the video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our upcoming releases. See you all next time.